Americans are not just casting their ballot this November for presidential candidates. Many will also get to directly influence policies in their home cities and states. 32 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico will have ballot initiatives this year. In many instances, there's big money behind the efforts to swing the public one way or the other. Some issues are related to voting rights. In Colorado, voters can choose to tie their state's electoral college votes to the national popular vote winner. Massachusetts is weighing ranked choice voting. Alaska and Florida could see massive overhauls of their electoral process. Florida is also the site of a major battle over the minimum wage. A yes vote on the state's Amendment 2 will help increase the minimum wage to $15 per hour by 2026. That measure needs 60% support to pass. Drug policy could also change in several states. New Jersey, Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota are all weighing to legalize marijuana for recreational use. Oregon voters can choose to decriminalize all drug use and fund health assessments and addiction treatment. Today, we will be focusing on the fight over one ballot initiative that could drastically reshape the gig economy and tech industry, impacting millions of workers nationwide, and that is California Proposition 22. This question considers whether app-based workers should be classified as independent contractors or employees. The measure seeks to overturn a 2019 California law giving these drivers labor protections. So for a deep dive into California Prop 22, I want to bring in Kate Conger in Oakland. She's a technology reporter covering privacy policy and labor for the New York Times. Kate, welcome. Great to have you with us. So tell us, what exactly does a yes vote and a no vote mean on California Prop 22?
A yes vote would give Uber and Lyft the ability to keep their drivers as independent contractors, and the no vote does not provide them an exemption from California law, meaning they would have to treat the drivers as employees and pay them employment benefits.
Right, and so that's why these companies are so against it, because obviously it would mean a lot more money going to the drivers. And they've made a real push for this, saying basically that they would go belly up without it. Is that right?
Yeah, this would be very expensive for them to employ all their drivers. And so they've said that they would have to do a number of things. One of them is cut back on flexibility for drivers. Another thing that they've said that they would have to do is reduce the overall number of drivers that they use in California.
So, of course, part of that, though, could just be a threat, right? Because what about the drivers? What have they been saying and doing during this fight?
Yeah, a lot of this could be threats. We don't know exactly how Uber and Lyft will react if they have to start complying with the law. And drivers are pretty split on this. Some drivers are in support of the measure. They want to stay independent contractors. And others say, especially during the pandemic, that they really need the sick leave, the employment benefits that they would get if they were classified as employees.
And so what does the polling tell us about where most Californians stand on this issue? And what are the potential ramifications for the nationwide labor movement, depending on how Californians vote?
The polling on this is really close. I think the latest polling is 46 in favor and 42% opposed. So this could pass, it could not. We're still kind of in that narrow area. And for the labor movement nationwide, a lot of states are looking at what California has done to try to crack down on Uber and Lyft and to bring them into a traditional employment model, and considering what they would do once they see the outcome of what happens here in California.
Is there any sort of happy medium, Kate, where drivers could choose to opt into some sort of employment model that might lower their wages but increase benefits, or anything like that?
So Uber and Lyft are kind of trying to do that a little bit with the proposition. They've introduced a minimum wage guarantee that they would put into the app if Prop 22 succeeds, and they've said that they would contribute somewhat to health benefits. But a lot of labor says that that is not enough, that the minimum would not meet the minimum wage here in California, and that the companies need to do more to support the workers.
All right, a fascinating fight, one in which these companies, it's Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, right? Are there others that have been spending massive amounts of money to, publicize this? Are there other companies involved?
Yeah, Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash are the main backers of the law, but it's also gotten contributions from Instacart, Postmates, and a number of other smaller gig companies.
All right. Well, Kate Conger, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.